What if you could change your life just by changing the words you say? It sounds far-fetched, but my guest today would disagree. Welcome to the Fabulous Health Show. I'm your host, Terri Chrisman, and I'm a whole foods plant-based nutritionist, and this show gives you the tools to help you obtain optimal health so that you can live a long, happy life and age with grace and vitality. It's episode 52, and today we are talking to a woman who chooses her words very carefully. Wilene Dunn is an entrepreneur and author. She's published 2 children's books and a book of poetry, and she has multiple e-commerce businesses, including phoneticsworld.com, where you can pick up all your fabulous health t-shirts and other merchandise, such as your yummy coffee mugs that you always see me drinking out of. She is the owner of WCD Speakers, and she works with individuals who desire to build their speaking platform and with those who are already speaking to grow their audience base. Wilene, welcome to the Fabulous Health Show.
Thanks, Terri. It's great to be here, but more than that, it's just great to work with you and be a part of what you're doing here. It's fabulous.
Oh, thank you. It is fabulous. Thank you so much. That's beautiful words there. I love it. Now, Wilene, a friend of mine recently said to me, and I quote, "Words have meaning," which sounds pretty obvious because we all know words have meaning. But sometimes we use words but don't think of the meanings that they have and how they affect our lives.
Yeah, and I think what's coming up for me now is how we joke with each other sometimes, and oh, you're pathetic, or even playfully. It's not life-giving. So when I think about words, what is life-giving? Like when you think about food, what is life-giving? We tie these things together because that we want to eat the foods that are life-giving. We want to say the words that are life-giving.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? Specifically, let's talk about words that we use about ourselves and our abilities and how we describe ourselves. So you mentioned you saying to your friends, "You're pathetic," but what about when we look in the mirror and we tear ourselves apart?
Sure. I mean, especially when with you in my journey through weight loss, looking in the mirror and thinking, I don't think you can really change who you are. You can look at a condition and say, I'm fat, right? Well, that's not going to support you getting more whole, right? What supports me when I look at myself and I know that I want to engage a different kind of lifestyle, I want to say things like, you can do this. You're the captain of your ship. You know what to do. You, Terri, have come along this journey with me. We find people to support us. And then when we stand in the mirror, we talk about what we're going to live into, right? Words are projection. So talking about what I want to create. So I'm looking at a condition of a body that's overweight. But then I say, but you have options and you can do this differently. And I love you. I love the body you're in. And I'm going to love you when we're not in this body and in a new body. So just speaking, not really paying attention to condition, but talking about the things you do want, a life that you can thrive. I thought about you this morning when I was standing in the mirror and I was thinking, you say, I don't want people to die. But more than that, you say, I want people to thrive and live in their fabulous health. And if we're repeating that on a regular basis to ourselves and to others, if we're saying what it is we want, not what we don't want, not looking at conditions, but what we do want.
Maybe I should stop telling people I don't want people to die. Maybe because that's the negative. Maybe I should just say a little bit more often, I want people to thrive and I want people to live with vitality and grace and age with energy. So right. Those words are much more positive than saying, I don't want you to die.
And not just positive, but I know your passion around the I don't want you to die, but you're right. I mean, taking those words and saying, I want you to thrive. And I know, as Terri, you say, I know how to do that with you, to really move you into a place of victory. And I just want to share a little bit about my story coming in with you is that I was looking in the mirror and going, okay, look, we got to do something because my body hurts. I don't feel well. I'm tired during the day, and I'm eating things that don't support my body. It was clear because when I put something in my mouth, and I would immediately get sleepy. So when we started the journey together, what, 9 weeks ago, 11 weeks ago, something like that, and I've lost a significant amount of weight. But the cool thing is my body doesn't hurt anymore. I mean, I just feel better, which then helps me and helps me use my words even more. I think when you pay attention to your body, what you're putting in your body and what you're doing for your body, it even supports more positivity. It supports more words of grace for yourself. Just knowing that what you can achieve. And again, I think the important part is not paying attention to the condition that your body might be in right now, but to really pay attention to the words you speak over it for victory. Like, you're strong, you're healthy, you're vital, you're thriving, you're exercising on a regular basis. You love to do what's good for your body, and just stating those things over yourself. Because when you talk over me, I love it when you'll say you're doing great, and I really love what you're accomplishing. That lifts me up. And we
Yes.
want to do that not only for others, but for ourselves. When you stand in the mirror, say words that bring life. Again, like you talked about how food brings life, words bring life.
Yes. Now, words can also not bring life. So you're saying, okay, stand in the mirror and say fabulous things about yourself. But what if your brain is saying, don't be an idiot. That's not true. You're not fabulous. You can't do this or whatever. I mean, your brain has to be engaged, doesn't it? Because just saying out loud, I'm full of vitality and I can do this. But inside your heart, you're thinking, nah, I can't do that. Who am I kidding myself? This is not happening. There's a contradiction there, isn't there? Talk to us about that.
Well, it's funny because I have someone in my life that I'll say, just state, what it is that you want. So here's the thing. Here's how to get out of the contradiction of the words. And that is to know that you're speaking words that you want. Maybe not where you are right now, but you are speaking over yourself what you want. So let's say I'm in a fat body. My body hurts. I'm looking in the mirror, trying to find something positive. I'm just going to talk about what I want. I want to be healthy. I want to be whole. I want to be vivacious. I want to be in the gym every day. I want to be exercising. So you can do it from a want space if you can't really claim the I am space in the moment. So if you are that, I am happy. Well, if you're not happy and you can't claim it in the moment, then say what it is you want. I want to be happy. I want to achieve the goals that I set for myself, because that's a level up from the current condition.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So how do we go from wishing and hoping and dreaming about fantastic life and achieving fantastic life? Now, before you answer that question, I would say it's all very well saying, I want this, I want that, I want that, something else, but you won't get there unless you take action. But you have a different feeling about that. I mean, I know you are taking action and you've made amazing progress, and I'm so proud of what you've done, and you're always positive. But for me, I still struggle with that connection between the thinking and the action. But you say the thinking is just as important. Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I get it. We have this saying, like, you say what you want and then you move your feet, right? You get busy doing what you say you want. So there's a congruency there. You want to be congruent with your words. So when you say I am happy, you want to do things that make you happy, right? When you say I am healthy and whole, you want to do the things that support happy and wholeness. I mean, I just think that it's important that that's when you get into congruency with your words. So let's just say I'm in a condition, I'm in a fat body. I look in the mirror and I say, okay, I can't believe that I'm skinny. I can't believe that I'm even healthy, but I can believe I want to be healthy. And then the next step is, what would a person do that is healthy? What would a healthy person do when they say, I want to be healthy? And then you think, I'm calling Terri because I want to be healthy and whole and eat good food that supports my body. And to find a support group, that's another to-do part, right? Find your support. And I found you, and it was miraculous and not so, because I had been stating, my word had been, I want to do this differently. Because I'll go back and share how we connected, which I think is a manifestation of the word, which is I had fallen down for the first time. I'm 52 years old. I'm healthy. I'm healthy in a way, right? I'm not taking medicine. I don't have any major things wrong with me, but I fell down and I passed out for a second. And then I started trying to find out what that was. Well, I'm a menopausal female, so I'm going through that. And I just started trying to figure blood sugar. But then I asked the question to that which is greater than me. I just said, what do I need? And one of the things was, you're fat. You got to lose weight. You just have to. And then I was invited. So I started talking about support.
Just like that, you owned it.
Yeah. And then I started asking that which is greater. I just said, okay, how do I do that? And 2 weeks later, I met Terri Chrisman at a lunch. Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it was just a lunch that a friend of mine had set up. I'd never met you before. And just after stating that, so that's how powerful our word is. When we get into connection and congruency with what we want, and we start asking, and I'm kind of a word girl from a Bible perspective. I like that idea where it says, we have not because we ask not. You have to ask. And so I asked. I just said, what can I do? And I got Terri, and I got that you need to do something about this. So then we met and we started that journey together. But that's how the word creates. I mean, you just see the phenomenon in it all.
That's right. Now, what do you say to people who would say, oh, that's just a coincidence? You actually have a story, which I love you to tell everybody today, about some medical bills that you didn't want to pay. And you manifested that. So talk to us about that to kind of put into perspective how your words that you were talking over yourself changed an outcome for you.
Yeah, I mean, I have several incredible stories in my lifetime. I mean, starting way back when I was 16, not realizing the power of the world until later. I mean, really getting the power. But I had gotten sick, diagnosed with West Nile's virus, 105.8 fever, went in to the hospital emergency room. I was there seven days in ICU. When I got out, I just thought I was sick there. When I got out, I had $197,000 worth of medical bills.
Wow.
And of course, your mind immediately goes, I can't do this. I don't have that kind of money. What am I going to do here? And then immediately, what I'm talking to you about, that application of saying something different, I took that medical bill and I looked at it and I said these words, I only want to pay $1,000 collectively for all these bills. Thank you for your service to me and saving my life. So I gave gratitude for the people who had saved me, but I only wanted to pay a certain amount. And so then the next bill I got was $97,000. I mean, $100,000 just gone. Same thing. Looked at the bill. I did not feel any apprehension. I didn't change the way I felt. I just looked at it and said, I only want to pay $8,000 collected for these bills. $57,000 the next bill. $36,000 the next bill. $19,000 the next bill. And I did call and say, because this was 3 months in, I called and said, what do we need to do? And they said, well, the hospital's going to give you a certain amount off your bills. And then once that happens, all the other facilities like the pathology and the ER doctors are going to give you that same amount. And so I got that letter 3 months later. Now, mind you, the whole time I'm just saying, I only want to pay $8,000 collectively for all these bills. Thank you for saving my life. And I would put it in a drawer. And so I got that last bill and it said, we have made a decision for you to pay 55% of the original amount. You owe us $5,000. Now, I don't know if you do math, but 55% off of 197,000 is not 5,000.
No.
So, people even forgot how to do math. And now I know you could be saying, this is crazy. It works. I mean, when I had a conviction of what I wanted, and that's kind of going into woo-woo land, it's like, how in the world? But in the end, I ended up paying $7,976.68 for all of those bills collectively. And the total collective amount was the $197.
Wow. So for the $23 that you didn't pay out of your $8,000, did you buy them a present or a card or something? Thank you.
No, but I regularly send love and appreciation for those people, because those who are on the front lines that care about other people. I think it's amazing. But it's so interesting that when we say something and we're in conviction about it, and all I can say to listeners here is you need to try it. Don't just try it. Try it with something small in your life. Like, there's a book called The Shortcut to a Miracle. It's a great book. And it'll lead you through the process of just pick something that you can call into your life. So one of the things I do is I used to say, I see hearts everywhere. Terri, I saw hearts. I began to see hearts everywhere. I even have hearts in my floor at my house. I actually can see hearts in my tile floor. So pick something that you can practice on, that's small, that doesn't feel big for you. Just pick something like, I find pennies in every parking lot. I find pennies in every parking lot, and start saying that stuff regularly. Of course, people do it with parking spots all the time. I do it with
parking spots all the time.
Yeah.
We sing the parking spot song when we're driving around the car park.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an easy one that people can practice with. I find front row parking spots everywhere I go. I have a friend that does. I get good customer service every place I go. I get great customer service, and it is true for her. I mean, really, she gets great customer service. And for me, I mean, anything you state your word behind, it's incredible the what produces and manifests out of that. And again, I just say, try it on something small. Just say something that you would like on a regular basis. My husband kisses me every morning. My wife gives me a hug every day. Something that you want. Just start stating it regularly, and you can do it in your mind. Thoughts matter too. Don't just think it's about your words. So you can't stand in the mirror and be thinking, you fat slob, and be speaking, I am happy, right? It has to be congruent. So
yes,
congruency is important.
I like the fact that you talk about starting small, and that's the same with a health journey too. I'm a bit hardcore, and I'm a do it all, because I want people to have instant results. And I know that if you do a little bit and a lot of not healthy stuff, then the progress is going to be quite slow. So I'm all in. And sometimes that can be very difficult for people. But with things like manifesting things, I like that you just say, okay, do something very small, like the customer service or the parking spot or something like that, because then it gives you a little bit of faith, doesn't it? And sometimes we need a little bit of faith in ourselves to take the next step. So that brings me on to the concept that words have energy. So I've always been a very positive person. And in fact, my favorite saying, and I've said this so many times, is from Henry Ford. And he said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are always right. And I'll just describe that to people just so that they understand. So if I think I'm actually in Sacramento at the moment, and the marathon was on yesterday, I didn't even know it was on. And I went and watched the people run, and it was so emotional because I've run marathons myself before, and all the thoughts and feelings came back to me as I was watching people cross the crossing line. But I remember when I was training for the marathon, if I thought I couldn't do it, guess what? I would have given up. I would have never got to that start line. I would have run, 3 or 4 weeks, 5Ks here, 5Ks there, and I would have been back on the couch eating Oreos and not running the marathon. But if you think you can do it, even if it's really, really, really scary, like the marathon is the most scary thing I can actually think of that anybody could ever do in their entire life, then you'll do the steps to make it happen. So is there energy in that saying? In my mind, I just was blinkered. You're running a marathon, full stop. There was no, I might run it, or if I can, if I don't get injured, or if it doesn't rain, or, if I can get some new shoes, or, you know what I mean? Like, talk to me about the energy that is inside words.
Well, I mean, just say a word that doesn't, like, I can't.
Yeah, bugger that.
Now let's say I can, I will. Yeah. Just do that again. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. Or I will. I am. I can. It immediately it just has a different inflection, even in how you say things and how you say words. Thank goodness most of the time we whisper those things. I can't. But see, it just feels sad, And you say, but and even better than I can is that radical responsibility over your life that says, not only can I, but I will. That choice, choosing a word that has way more energy, that brings it home, that says, I not only can, I will. I will do this. I not only can eat well, I'm going to eat well. I'm going to put the foods in my mouth that support my body, that help support my life. And of course, we know when our bodies are supported, our minds, our lives are supported, because this is the shell we're in here, and we need to take care of it.
Yes, absolutely. And just finally, Wilene, what advice do you have for somebody who wants to change their health and their life? They're hearing you, they're agreeing with you, and they're saying, yeah, that's all right for you, but my personality is not like that. So you and I both are positive people. And I know that about you, and obviously I know that about me. What if you have other people telling you that you can't and that you're not good enough? No, it's bad enough when we say it to ourselves, because I know every person on the planet says things to themselves that are not kind.
Right.
But what when other people in their homes or around them, their relatives and friends, are putting them down for the changes that they're trying to make, what advice do you have for somebody like that?
It was interesting. They did a study actually of people sitting on the couch watching exercise programs. So they had one person that was sitting there watching an exercise program saying, I'll never be able to do that. I'll never make any changes. And another person actually just watching exercise programs saying, I can do this. I know I will have a healthy body. I know that things will work out for me, and actually began to lose weight from just watching the activity. But here's the thing about that. What you're doing is you're applying yourself. So if somebody's talking negatively to you, in your mind, you can be saying, I will do this. I will do this. And just hold that space for yourself until that becomes true for you, until you begin to. Because that's really where I was when I finally just said, I need to do something. So that was closer to, the start. And then I said, I will do something. And I began to do that something. And another thing I don't want to leave out here is, Terri, when we first started working together, you said to me, just move your body every 45 minutes, stand up and move your body for 5 minutes. I think that makes a significant difference, because it not only it supports your words, moving your body gives you that energy, the endorphins, whatever you would call it from a health perspective, what that does. And you can tell us in just a second before we leave here, but that just moving my body. So I set a timer, and in 45 minutes I stand up and I just do crazy things like, I get out of my chair and I just move my body, and that automatically increases. So if you've got somebody telling you can't, you're sitting on the couch, just stand up and walk in place while you're watching your TV. Just walk in place. Just do something so simple. You don't have to go to the gym, get a membership, get outside and walk. You can stand and march and move your arms while you're watching TV. Just one small step.
In fact, I love that I love the fact that you take on all these suggestions and you actually do them. That it blows my mind. You're like the best client on the planet. And I remember I used to be a personal trainer, and I ran a gym, and there were times and it was in a college, a school, and so there were times when the students were in class where I had no clients, and so I'd be sitting at the desk writing some programs or something, and so I set an alarm on my phone, and I called it the get off my butt alarm, and I would and this is why I told you to do it, every 45 minutes, if there was nobody that I was training or doing anything like that, I would press play on my favorite song. And at that time, it was Taylor Swift's Shake It Off. You remember that song?
Yeah.
And I would just blare it through the gym at 100 decibels or whatever it was, and jump around like a crazy thing, because I needed to get my yayas out, and because sitting in a desk in a chair is sedentary and not beneficial for anybody's body.
Right.
So I'd like to suggest that to anybody who is working at a desk, sitting down all the time. Put your favorite song on. Doesn't have to be Taylor Swift, could be anything, and just move your body. So, Wilene, thank you so much for coming on today. I really, really appreciate it. And I really appreciate that you are helping people with their words, thinking positive things about their life, so that they can grow into the person that they want to be. So thank you so much for your help, and I will see you soon. So I'm just going to tell the people what we're doing next week. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you everybody for listening to the Fabulous Health Show. This show will go onto your podcasts straight after this, and you can find it on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and Spotify. And if you want to binge watch all the shows, you can just head over to fabuloushealth.net, where you'll see all the videos of those. And next week, I'm very excited to say that we are going to be talking to a magnificent lady called Cindy Thompson, and she was a firefighter who was overweight and started on a whole foods plant-based diet. Not only did she lose 60 pounds and become a triathlete, she also got her entire fire station to go whole foods plant-based and improve their health as well. So that's next week, next Monday, US Central Time at 10 a.m. And thank you again, Wilene, for coming on to the show. And everybody else, I'll see you later. Have a great day.